Hey guys, I'm back, and tonight as it were, you guys don't know when I record these things, but anyway, okay, so we're going to be looking at the next offering in the lineup from CRKT of knives using their super award-winning, I mean, because they keep winning awards every time they present a new one, the Field Strip takedown system. We saw the original CRKT Homefront, came in a battle box, won a ton of awards when it came out. Next, very recently, I got my hands on the Raikiri, which I love. I know a lot of people don't. I really like this knife, though. I'm a big fan of it, but we looked at that. Today, we are going to look at the HVAS, or HVAS, however you want to pronounce it. This one's kind of, it's a bit different than the rest. In terms of materials it's made of, it still uses the Field Strip, like the quick, easy takedown. But it is a little bit different. Not so much in price, though. That's the thing. These are relatively expensive knives. They don't fit, you know, according to my terminology anyway, not into the budget category at all, not into the low-cost knife section at all. And the HVAS, when you consider the materials and the difference in what these two are made of, and, you know, they're brothers and sisters because they come in different, you know, there's tantos, there's drop points. Not so much this guy, but this guy. There's different finishes for the handle and everything, but, you know, they are good steel, not great steel, good steel, you know, sculpted aluminum handles and everything, whereas you're going to see the big difference here. But it doesn't kind of carry really a lower price tag that you think it would with the difference in materials. So we'll see what you guys think of it as I go through it. So I guess there's really no sense in delaying. Although I do want to say before I get this out, Facebook page is back up. I have modified all the links to the new Facebook page. I just had to make a new Facebook page on a new account. So if you liked it and you were following it before, please go back, check the video description here. It will have a link to the new Facebook page. You know, go back, check that out. I'll be using it the same way as I did before. Great way to contact me if you don't like trying to message through here or email or whatever, but Facebook page is back, like for real. You know, it's good. Anyway, let's take a look at, well, let's take a look at what's in this ripped up bag. So the big difference with this model and the others is that this one's a bit lighter, but it's because it features plastic handles. Now, somebody's going to jump in and say it's not plastic, it's fiberglass reinforced nylon, or it's Norol GTX or whatever. It's all plastic to me. It is a form of plastic. So the Raikiri and the HVAS use the same 1.14, I can't remember the actual designation. It's a German steel, where the Homefront uses AUS 8. I like this steel a little bit better in terms of chemical composition and its abilities, capabilities that it should have. But again, biggest difference here is that we are looking at plastic as opposed to a full metal design on both of these. Pros and cons, you know, I guess, in terms of weight, aluminum is not prone to corrosion or anything like that, but, you know, plastic has some advantages here and there. But let's not waste any more time. Let's actually look at the knife. Wow, that is not very smooth at all. Let's do that again. It is brand new, so it might be a little tough, but it is definitely not as smooth as either of these. You can see these are both flippers, right? So they're designed to be very smooth, kind of a good flow opening. Especially the Raikiri, man. This thing just travels. I love it. I love it. This one, not so much. It is very tough. So again, is that, you know, just because this one needs to break in, or I don't know. But let's take a look. So centering right out of the box here, it's pretty much perfect. It's dead on. There's no blade play or any kind of problem there when you open it up. It's a nice shape. It's a really nice hollow grind. I mean, you've got a really fine edge by the time you get to the bezel down there. So in terms of general slicing kind of chores and you know, your cutting ability, this should be great. Looking at the finish, you know, looks-wise again, really nice finish, good satin finish on the blade, like those grind lines and everything. It has more of a traditional look to me than the really industrial, technical look of the Raikiri there. And even the home front has a very machined sort of technical look to it, whereas this, you know, whether it's a product of design or the plastic or both, has more of a traditional EDC knife kind of look to it. Decent size liner, so that lock there gives you, a good amount for the size of the knife of locking surface. You can see this one is super early lockup. Now I am predicting that when we give this a good tap, that lock's going to fail. I mean, I feel like there's barely any metal on metal contact there. Like all of the Field Strip series, it's got that inset metal liner inside. We'll see that in a minute. We'll take a look. We'll break this one down like we break down the other ones. Small clip, but it's a deep carry clip, and you can switch it left or right, tip up only carry, which is a little bit better than the other two because there's no options whatsoever. So if you're left-handed or you just like to carry, you know, as a lefty on these ones, you get no options. At least here you get, you know, a left or right hand option. There's still no tip down option, and I always say that doesn't bother me at all because I like to carry tip up. If you compare size-wise, it's just a wee bit smaller than the other ones. Use the box here to properly line them up. I mean, just a tiny bit smaller than the home front. Tiny, tiny bit. A little bit smaller than the Raikiri. It feels a lot smaller in my hand though. It has a much smaller feel than these other ones do. The home front, when I'm holding it, it doesn't fill my whole hand, but it has a little bit more protruding than this one does. And the Raikiri it feels solid. Like I've got a lot of metal and knife to grip onto there. That's maybe one of the reasons I like this one so much better. For EDC size and purpose though, the weight on this is really good. The balance on this is really good. It's fairly comfortable. It's comfort-wise, I don't know which one of these I'd rate higher. I think the clip on the Raikiri here is a little less intrusive, a little less bite on the hand than this clip here. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, it's a small difference, just a little bit. It's also where it's mounted a little bit lower on the knife. It kind of grabs into a meatier part of the hand. So to me anyway, I just don't feel it as much. I really do like the blade style and shape for EDC purposes. Although I do often say I like the straight edge on a Wharncliffe for utility purposes. I think for your general EDC stuff, as long as you're not carrying it in London, this should work out really well for you. I really do like it. So we're going to do all the standard tests. Before we do that, let's go ahead, and since I did it in the other videos with these knives, let's show how this Field Strip system works. And there's a whole information packet. Comes with it inside the knife if you don't know how it already works. But it's very simple. So the first thing you do is you need to move this switch. This is locked right now. You want to unlock that pivot switch. Just, you know, as the knife is brand new, this switch can be very tough, and you kind of need to break it in a little bit. There we go. So that releases the pivot, and then you're going to need to rotate this guy counterclockwise, and this is unscrewing the handle. And your knife is disassembled, and that's the really cool part about the Field Strip system. It's very simple. Now, somebody had pointed out in another video, I had mistakenly said that this was on bearings. It felt so smooth, and I really thought I had saw somewhere that it was on bearings, and maybe it said it's so smooth you'll think it's on bearings or something. None of these knives are on bearings. These are all on washers, and CRKT has affixed permanently the Teflon washers to the scales and the liners so that you can't lose them when you take them apart, which is a great idea when you designed a knife to be taken apart specifically anywhere, anytime in the field. That's something that I hadn't known. That was and honestly, I can't remember who commented that right now, but that's, you know, one of you guys out there, a viewer, had said, hey, I'm pretty sure CRK has done this with the washer so you can't lose it. Great feature. Didn't even occur to me at first that that was something to think about, but good thinking, you know, for your knife designed to be stripped down anywhere. Once you've gotten it taken apart like this, there is further disassembly that can take place, but I wouldn't, and it's going to void any kind of warranty. but this is good enough to get it completely washed out and cleaned. Whatever you're doing, however dirty it is, wash the mud out of it, wash the dirt out of it. Even if it's just been in your pocket for a while and it's got a bunch of that pocket lint and dirt that accumulates in there. Every so often, take it apart, give it a drop of oil or two, and put it back together and just make sure it's in good shape. It also lets you take a look at the functioning. Putting it together, once you're ready to get it back together, can be just as tricky sometimes when it's brand new. Again, you know, things are kind of tight and need to be broken in, but it works exactly the same way. So you've got a little pin here, you've got a little recess hole there. You want to make sure you put this together so that pin fits in the hole, and then rest the back screw in place right there. Give the pivot a good squeeze, and then rotate this. I think I said counterclockwise when I took it apart. You rotate clockwise, take it apart, and counterclockwise to put it together. Doesn't need to be too tight, just finger tight, right? And then you should be able to rotate this switch shut again. And again, this, you know, can be a little difficult the first few times you're doing this until the knife breaks in properly. Once you get it in place, your knife is fully assembled again and ready to go. This one, I'm not happy with the lock at all. I'm going to disassemble it again. I reassembled it, and now the lock doesn't really catch. Not at all. See that? That's not going to take much to break that lock at all, I don't think. Unless it just needs a really firm opening to snap that lock out there. I don't know, let's see. If I just do a gentle, it barely catches. It's not bad, actually. I actually have slightly better contact on the lock than we did before we disassembled and reassembled it. We are slowly moving the lock over, but we are not breaking the lock. It is not coming undone. I am having to look at that. And this knife is definitely, with a little disassembly and reassembly, it's working itself in a little bit. It's still not kind of flick loose yet. Oh, there we go. But centering is still good, so we haven't messed with the pivot or anything. It's just much looser, much better lock connection with the blade. And that's I'm actually surprised that that lock didn't break from tapping it on the back like that. So let's go ahead and check out edge right out of the box. Ooh. Wow, that was not nice. There we go. I don't know, it feels like it could be better. I mean, it's not as smooth as this guy right here. The home front really hasn't gotten any exercise at all. Even it is honed to perfection, whereas this one, I don't know, maybe could use just a little bit more. It's not bad. I mean, it's not bad. It's just it could use some more. Yeah, I'm using a Yahtzee scoreboard. It could use a little bit more. Again, so, you know, not a terrible thing. Easy for us to fix. But when you spend close to $80 on a knife, you know, I don't think it's unreasonable to want it to be perfect out of the box. Still using up this Rainbow 550 cord that I have for unexplained, unknown reasons. It's not a bad cut. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I can't do like a push right through, which I'd like to be able to do. Like with this guy. I mean, you can just push it right through. and it cuts. Not so much with the HVAS. And these guys have the same steel too. So, you know, maybe other ones come honed a little bit better out of the box. Again, I always say that. This is not indicative of the knife's performance overall. These little tests just say, when you get this guy out of the box, how is it ready to perform right here and now if you took it directly out of the box and went off to do things with it. So if you're a fan of the field strip system, I think they call it field strip technology, whatever, here's one more option for you. I personally, I still would rather carry this guy in my pocket, or even the home front, the original, than this. Somebody had asked before if these blades were interchangeable. No, they're not. Just because they use the same kind of takedown pin does not mean that you can pop one blade into another handle or anything like that. It does not work like that. The locks are designed to work with the specific blade itself, so don't think you can get them and mix and match. They won't work. And this one's not bad. It's just this one's not for me if I had to pick one from the lineup here. But this might do great in the pocket and hands of other people, especially folks who like a smaller, lighter knife and want this ability to take it down with no tools for quick cleaning, for degunking. That's a thing, degunking. Like I do when I test out almost all new knives though, I will put this in my pocket for about a week. I will carry it around. I'll use it. See, it is amazing how much smoother it got after breaking it down and putting it back together. That's actually pretty cool. That helped, that improves my liking of it a lot. And we didn't lose any kind of centering or any blade alignment or anything to get it that much smoother. But anyway, I will carry this one around. I will test it out. If there's anything significant to report, I'll do a follow-up video. If you hear nothing, assume nothing's changed. Not bad, not great, not bad. You know what is great? All of you guys are great. I appreciate every single one of you. You are all totally awesome, and I'll be back again real soon.